All right, welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today, and it's something a lot of you have been asking about. India versus New Zealand coming up in Dubai.
Yeah.
And man, those Dubai pitches, they're always a bit of a wild card, aren't they?
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. This match, it's not just about skill, it's a real strategic battle. You got to
Yeah.
think differently in Dubai, because his pitches are slow, the bounce is low, it really shakes things up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, we're used to seeing Indy come out swinging, right? Kohli, Iyer, Pandya, these guys are powerhouses. But those Dubai pitches, they can really put a damper on things. Did you see what happened in Sri Lanka?
Oh, absolutely. Sri Lanka, they have those kind of similar pitches to Dubai. That slow pace, low bounce, it's tough. And when India toured there, oh boy, their strike rates plummeted. Kohli, he couldn't find his groove. Rahul looked lost out there. Even a big hitter like Axar Patel, he was struggling to score quickly.
It's almost like, you're trying to drive a Ferrari on a dirt road.
Yeah.
It's just not the right setup for that kind of explosive play style. And I think that's where New Zealand might have a bit of an edge, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. New Zealand, they've got these world-class spinners, perfect for these conditions. Guys like Santner and Sodhi, they just love these slow turning pitches. It's going to be super tough for Indian batsmen to score freely against them. They're so accurate, so many variations. It's going to be a challenge.
And, that brings up a point that I think often gets overlooked. It's the mental side of things, those dot balls, those deliveries where no runs are scored. They might seem small, but they add up, right?
Yeah.
It's like this psychological pressure cooker.
You know it. KL Rahul, he's talked about this before, the mental drain of facing all those dot balls.
Yeah.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that when those dot balls start piling up, man, the pressure just builds and builds. You feel like you got to score, and that's when you start making mistakes, taking risks you wouldn't normally take. That's what those Kiwi bowlers are going to be aiming for.
It's that classic trap, right? You get stuck, the frustration builds, and suddenly you're trying to hit a home run when you should just be taking the single. And New Zealand, they're masters at setting those traps, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're like chess grandmasters out there.
Yeah.
They're not just bowling, they're thinking 3 moves ahead. They're setting up the field, using those dot balls to build pressure, waiting for that one mistake, that one opportunity to grab a wicket. It's a real mind game.
And then you add in the fielding, right? New Zealand, they're known for being aggressive in the field, cutting off those singles, putting the pressure right back on the batsman. It's relentless.
Oh, yeah, it's suffocating. They combine that disciplined bowling with sharp fielding. They don't give you an inch. It's a team effort, and it's really effective.
So, yeah, facing New Zealand on these Dubai pitches, it's a massive challenge for India, no doubt about it. But India's a tough team to beat, right? They're not going to just roll over. They'll have a game plan. What do you think they need to do to come out on top?
Well, they're going to have to be smart. India, they're used to relying on boundaries, the big hits. But on these pitches, they're going to need to be more strategic, rotating the strike, picking up those singles, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. That's going to be key.
So less hit it out of the park and more play it smart. Kind of like a chess match on the pitch.
Exactly. It's about adapting to the conditions, being patient, finding those less conventional ways to score runs. And they got to take advantage of those field restrictions, too. The power play, the fifth fielder rule, those are opportunities to be strategic with their shot placement. They can target those gaps, force New Zealand to adjust their field.
So it's like a game within a game, trying to outthink and outmaneuver the opposition.
And on top of that, they got to make sure their batting lineup has the depth to weather the storm right. They need someone who can stay in there, build in innings, and anchor the team.
Couldn't agree more. Someone who can absorb that pressure, play the situation, let others play more freely around them. If they can get that right, they've got a fighting chance. Okay, so we've talked about the uphill battle India's facing, but let's flip the script a little. Let's say everything goes their way. What would that look like? What's the winning formula for them in this match?
Well, it all starts with the toss. If India wins the toss and decides to bat first, they've got to start carefully. Respect those early overs, avoid unnecessary risks, and build partnerships. Someone like, say, Rohit Sharma, if he's fully fit, he could be vital in that anchor role.
So even with the slow pitch, it's not just about bunkering down and trying to survive, right?
No.
There's got to be a balance.
You got it. It's about finding that sweet spot, rotating the strike, picking up singles, punishing any loose balls that come their way. But yeah, the big hits, those have to be calculated risks, not just desperate swings for the fences.
And I imagine New Zealand's bowlers, they won't just sit back and watch, right? They'll be trying to tighten the screws even more.
Oh, absolutely. That's when the mental game really heats up. Santner and Sodhi, they're relentless. They'll bowl tight lines, mix up their pace, and force those Indian batsmen to make tough choices.
So for India, it's not just about having a plan. It's about sticking to it, even when things get tough,
Yeah.
keeping their cool under pressure.
Absolutely. There will be times when they get frustrated, when runs are hard to come by. But that's where discipline and clear thinking becomes so important. They can't let New Zealand dictate the pace of the game.
It's like a tug of war, isn't it? Each team trying to control the tempo, to impose their will on the other.
Exactly. And whoever handles those pressure cooker moments better, well, they'll probably be the ones celebrating at the end. But, we've focused a lot on India's challenges, but New Zealand, they've got their own strengths to play too. We can't forget about their batting lineup.
That's right. We've been talking a lot about India, but New Zealand's no pushover, especially in these conditions. They've got some serious batting firepower.
You said it. Williamson and Taylor, those guys are veterans. They're two of the most experienced and adaptable batsmen in the world, and they thrive in these pressure situations. They'll be patient, wait for the right opportunities, and look to build those crucial partnerships.
And against India's bowling attack, which might be missing a key player in Shami, they'll probably be feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, that's a big factor. If Shami doesn't play, it could be a huge advantage for New Zealand. They'll be looking to target the other bowlers, score quickly, and put the pressure right back on India.
So even if India manages to put up a decent total, their work's not done. They'll need to bowl well, take wickets consistently to really stay in the game.
It's going to be a fascinating contest, no doubt. Two top teams, both with their own strengths and weaknesses. It'll be a real battle of wits and skill.
Okay, let's zoom in on a couple of players who could really swing the match one way or the other. On the Indian side, there's a big question mark hanging over Rohit Sharma's fitness.
Yeah, that hamstring issue is a real concern. Rohit, on his day, he's a match winner. But if he's not 100%, it's going to affect his movement, his ability to play his natural game. And on those slow pitches, you really need to be able to move around the crease freely. It's going to be interesting to see how he manages.
And on the New Zealand side, all eyes will be on Trent Boult. He's one of the most lethal swing bowlers in the world. How do you think he'll fare on this pitch?
Well, Bolt's a master at finding any little bit of movement off the pitch. Even if it's slow and low, he can still be a threat with his variations and his ability to generate reverse swing.
So India's top order could be in for a tough time against him, especially if they're already struggling to adjust to the conditions. It's a real tactical challenge for them.
Exactly. If Bolt can get a couple of early wickets, it puts enormous pressure on the rest of the Indian batting lineup. And that could be the turning point of the match. How India handles him will be key.
Do you think they'll try to be cautious, play defensively against him, or will they try to attack him, disrupt his rhythm?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Being too defensive, that plays right into Bolt's hands. But attacking him, that comes with its own risks. It's a high-stakes gamble either way.
It's a real chess match. Every decision matters. But you know what else matters? The fans. They bring so much energy to these big games.
Oh, absolutely. The atmosphere for this match is going to be electric. India and New Zealand, they both have incredibly passionate fans, and Dubai is going to be buzzing.
Yeah, the fans add a whole other layer to these big matches. The cheers, the chants, the tension, you can feel it in the air. It all adds to the drama.
It's what makes cricket so special. It's not just a game, it's an event, a shared experience that brings people together. And this match, it has all the makings of a classic.
Yeah, the energy from the fans, it's contagious, isn't it? It really adds to the whole experience. But let's talk a bit more about the teams themselves. The rivalry between India and New Zealand, it always makes for a compelling match, don't you think? They have such different styles.
Oh, for sure. It's a clash of cultures almost, right? You've got India with that flashy, aggressive style, always looking to dominate. And then there's New Zealand, the underdogs, known for their composure, their ability to just grind it out, wear down the opposition.
It's fire and ice, basically.
Yeah.
Two completely different approaches to the game, but both super effective in their own way. And it's not just the teams overall. Even the individual matchups are always exciting.
Absolutely. You think about Kohli facing Bolt, for example. Two absolute legends of the game going head-to-head. It's a battle of skill, of temperament, of who can outsmart the other. It's captivating to watch.
Yeah. And then you've got someone like Rohit Sharma, if he's fit, trying to figure out Santner's spin. It's like a game of chess within a game.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans, we're all just pawns in their game, completely hooked.
Those are the kind of moments that make this sport so great. It's those individual battles, those moments of brilliance, the tension, the drama. That's what gets people talking, gets them invested. And this match, it's got the potential to be one for the history books, something we'll be talking about for years to come.
Couldn't agree more. But before we wrap up, let's zoom out a little bit. Beyond just the result, What do you think this match says about the state of cricket today?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think this match really highlights how the game's evolving. We're seeing a shift away from just all-out attack all the time toward a more balanced, a more strategic approach. Teams are starting to realize that being adaptable is crucial, especially with all the different conditions we see in cricket around the world.
So it's not just about smashing sixes anymore, right? It's about understanding the situation, reading the game, making smart choices based on the conditions.
Exactly. And this match, it's like a perfect example of that. You have two top teams, both with their own unique strengths, but both knowing they need to adapt, they need to evolve to stay at the top.
So for all our listeners tuning in to watch this Clash of the Titans, what should they be looking for? What are the key things to keep in mind?
Well, first, watch how both teams handle the conditions. Look for those little adjustments they make in their batting and bowling. It's those subtle changes that often make the difference. And second, pay close attention to that mental game. Which team handles the pressure better? Who makes the right decisions when the stakes are high? That's often what separates the winners from the losers.
And at the end of the day, just enjoy the show. These are two world-class teams playing the sport at the highest level on a global stage. It's a celebration of skill, of strategy, of pure passion for the game.
Well said. That's what makes cricket so special. It's that perfect blend of athleticism, intelligence, and drama. And this match, it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute thriller.
Couldn't have put it better myself. So to all our listeners out there, enjoy the match. And we'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of sports.